In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on November 8, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Portland Trail Blazers versus Miami Heat. The Portland Trail Blazers remain without Matisse Thybulle, Scoot Henderson, and Blake Wesley, while the Miami Heat could again be missing Bam Adebayo. Miami enters this matchup with a strong foundation built on home success and efficient shooting. The Heat have opened their home schedule with a record of 2-0 and are connecting on 49.5% of their field goal attempts, one of the higher marks in the league. Even with injuries affecting key players, their offensive system remains fluid, with Powell emerging as a steady scoring leader. The team's spacing and tempo have allowed them to maintain rhythm despite roster adjustments. Portland comes in on the heels of an emotional win, but that result came at a cost, with the team now facing a quick turnaround and travel east on short rest. The Blazers have shown promise in spurts, particularly with their young core generating energy and pace, yet consistency remains a challenge. Miami holds a slight statistical edge in scoring output per game and matches up favorably when attacking Portland's defense inside. The Trail Blazers have allowed too many second-chance opportunities in recent games, a weakness that plays directly into Miami's aggressive rebounding and drive-heavy attack. From a market perspective, the Trail Blazers are understandably listed as favorites due to their health advantage and rest factor. Still, the value lies elsewhere. Miami has proven that even with key absences, it can produce offensively at an elite level. Missing Tyler Herro and Adebayo did not prevent them from setting a franchise record with 53 points in a single quarter in their last game. The Heat's ball movement, transition pace, and willingness to share the scoring load make them dangerous in nearly any lineup combination. Meanwhile, Portland remains a young team still developing its identity, particularly when tasked with closing out games it is expected to win. If Miami continues to win the assist battle and maintain its offensive flow at home, its ability to cover becomes stronger. Home court consistency, combined with efficient shooting and balanced scoring, gives the Heat every chance to stay competitive against a less experienced opponent. As our first pick for this matchup, the Miami Heat to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The scoring profile for this game suggests potential for another high-output contest. Both teams have trended toward overs in recent outings, and their combined averages reinforce that trend. Through their first 5 games, Portland has averaged 120.4 points per game, while Miami has produced 122.4. Together, that total surpasses 240 points per contest. Neither side has excelled defensively of late. Miami surrendered 122 points in its most recent outing, and Portland allowed 119 to Oklahoma City, underscoring defensive lapses on both sides. Portland's Avdija, Holiday, and Grant each present matchup challenges with size and versatility, while Powell and Miami's wings will look to push the pace early and exploit transition chances. Both teams rank near the top of the league in tempo, according to dunksanthrees.com, and Portland has gone over in 4 of its last 5 games. With Adebayo likely sidelined, the Blazers are expected to drive inside more often, aiming to force Miami's front court into foul trouble. The Heat, thin at center, may counter by pushing the tempo to offset their interior disadvantage. The style and pace of play from both teams point toward an up-tempo affair, with open court scoring, fast possessions, and multiple players capable of creating offense. Both sides should continue to press and exchange baskets throughout the night. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Bulls versus Cleveland Cavaliers. On Saturday, 2 Central Division rivals will meet when the Chicago Bulls, holding a record of 6-1-0 and leading the division, travel to face the Cleveland Cavaliers, who stand at 5-3-0 and tied for 3rd place. Both teams enter the matchup completing the second leg of a back-to-back set, adding a layer of fatigue and uncertainty to the contest. Chicago remains without Zach Collins and Kobe White, while Cleveland will again be missing Lonzo Ball, Max Struss, and Dean Wade. The Cavaliers swept the season series against the Bulls last year, winning all 4 meetings, 3 of which were decided by comfortable margins. That history helps explain why the Cavaliers are listed as heavy favorites in this matchup. Still, Cleveland has not been consistent when it comes to covering spreads early in the season. They have shown flashes of control but lack the dominance expected of a top-tier favorite, especially on the second night of consecutive games. On the other side, Chicago is also playing its second game in as many nights, and the defense that looked reliable early has started to slip. The Bulls opened the season with a strong stretch, but the cracks are beginning to show as opponents exploit mismatches and force turnovers at a higher rate. The early winning streak was encouraging, yet the recent regression suggests the Bulls may be settling closer to their true level of play. Sustaining elite form takes more than a single hot week. Their offensive rhythm has held up, but defensive lapses have cost them, particularly against teams with consistent perimeter shooting and interior rebounding strength. The Cavaliers enter this game with a more stable offensive structure and better balance, even without a few key players. Their ability to control tempo and generate points from multiple spots on the floor gives them an advantage against a Bulls team still searching for consistency on both ends. The back-to-back dynamic and roster health weighs slightly in Cleveland's favor, and the home court environment further enhances their position. As our first pick for this matchup, the Cleveland Cavaliers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The recent scoring trends between these two teams point toward a high-tempo, offensive game. The total has gone over in 4 of Chicago's last 5 matchups and in 8 of their last 10 on the road. The Bulls average more than 120 points per game, while the Cavaliers are producing over 115 per contest. Chicago ranks 6th in field goal percentage and 3rd in three-point shooting percentage, providing a solid indicator of their scoring efficiency. Last season, the 4 meetings between these clubs combined for an average of 251.5 points, a reflection of their offensive potential. Both teams rank in the middle third of the league for scoring, shooting above 45% from the field, and each averages at least 14 made three-pointers per night. The result is a matchup that can shift quickly in momentum, as both sides are capable of putting together explosive scoring runs. The pace numbers also support a higher total. According to dunksandthrees.com, Chicago ranks 10th with an average of 102.6 possessions per 48 minutes, while Cleveland sits right behind them in 11th, averaging 102.5 possessions. Both teams have young cores that thrive in transition and can maintain energy late into games. With this combination of efficiency, pace, and offensive versatility, the setup leans toward a quicker rhythm and plenty of scoring opportunities throughout the contest. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Indiana Pacers versus Denver Nuggets. The Indiana Pacers travel to Ball Arena on Saturday night for a meeting with the Denver Nuggets, a matchup that highlights the contrast between a short-handed visitor and a healthy home favorite. Indiana continues to deal with several injuries, as T.J. McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, and Johnny Furphy remain unavailable. Denver enters this game in far better shape, with no players listed on the injury report. The Nuggets have been steady at home, and their offensive rhythm remains intact, backed by their ability to control pace and dominate the boards. On paper, this looks like a spot where Denver could take full command. The Nuggets have the roster depth, balance, and shooting efficiency to separate early, while the Pacers have been undermanned and inconsistent. However, context matters. Denver is completing the second leg of a back-to-back, and that fatigue element can narrow the gap more than the line might suggest. Indiana, though struggling in the standings, has remained competitive in betting terms. The Pacers hold a record of 5-3-0 against the spread and have managed to cover in 5 of their last 6 games when listed as double-digit underdogs. Remarkably, 4 of those covers turned into outright victories. That pattern underscores the team's persistence and its tendency to play up to competition, even when the odds are steep. Despite the injuries, Indiana continues to show fight and energy, relying on pace and effort to compensate for its lack of consistent scoring. Denver, meanwhile, tends to control tempo and force opponents into tough shots, which can make it difficult for injury-depleted teams to find rhythm. Still, covering large spreads on back-to-back nights presents challenges, particularly against opponents that refuse to quit. Indiana's recent betting record shows they are often more resilient than expected. As our first pick for this matchup, the Indiana Pacers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. From a tempo standpoint, the Pacers play at an up-tempo pace, logging 102.1 possessions per 48 minutes, which ranks 8th in the league. Their speed, however, has not translated to efficiency. Indiana ranks last in the NBA in both two-point shooting percentage at 47.7% and three-point shooting percentage at 30.9%. These numbers illustrate a team that generates plenty of chances but struggles to convert them into points. The Nuggets, by contrast, play at a more measured pace, averaging 100.8 possessions per 48 minutes, tied for 15th in the league. They lead the NBA in opponent three-point percentage at 31.9% and rank third in defensive rebound percentage at 78.2%. Denver's discipline in limiting second-chance opportunities and contesting perimeter shots has been central to its defensive success. With those strengths and a back-to-back schedule, the Nuggets are likely to slow the game's tempo, forcing Indiana into half-court sets where their inefficiency becomes more evident. Given Denver's control over pace and Indiana's shooting struggles, this matchup points toward a slower rhythm and fewer clean looks for the visitors. The combination of solid defense and controlled possessions should influence how the game develops, especially with both teams playing their second game in as many nights. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Phoenix Suns versus Los Angeles Clippers. The Phoenix Suns travel to Southern California on Saturday evening to face the LA Clippers at Intuit Dome in Inglewood. This marks the second game of a home-and-home series between the two Western Conference rivals. The Suns claimed the first matchup in Phoenix with a 115-102 victory, covering as 2.5-point favorites, while the total went over 224.5 points. In that win, the Suns shot 45% from the field, converting 41 of 92 attempts and connected on 39% from three-point range, hitting 19 of 49 from beyond the arc. Jalen Green led the way with 29 points and 6 made threes, while Devin Booker added 24 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. Veteran forward Royce O'Neal also chipped in with 5 made three-pointers and finished with 17 points, providing valuable spacing and energy off the ball. For the Clippers, offensive execution was uneven. They shot 44% from the floor, converting 35 of 79 shots, but struggled from deep, making only 32% on 10 of 31 attempts. At the free throw line, they left key points behind, going 22 of 30 for 73%. Ivica Zubac was a bright spot, producing 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals on 8 of 14 shooting, earning the team's only double-double. He and one other starter were the only Clippers in double figures, underscoring the offensive imbalance. Bradley Beal, facing his former team, went just 2 of 14 from the field, an uncharacteristic showing that likely stemmed from pressing too hard in that return matchup. The Clippers now return home looking to avenge that defeat, though their outlook remains complicated without Kawhi Leonard. When Leonard is unavailable, the offense often falls heavily on James Harden's shoulders, leading to inconsistency. The team's scoring can stall for long stretches, and the defense, once a defining strength, has struggled to find cohesion with an older roster and shifting rotations. The Suns, meanwhile, have gained momentum following the return of Jalen Green, whose energy and scoring versatility have elevated their pace and spacing. Recent history also leans toward Phoenix. The Suns have won 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams, often finding ways to exploit mismatches on the perimeter. Beating the same opponent twice in quick succession is always difficult, particularly when the setting shifts, but the Clippers' current short-handed roster makes them vulnerable again if their bench production remains limited. Given the circumstances, this game offers an interesting setup where an upset would not come as a surprise. As our first pick for this matchup, the Phoenix Suns to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. When it comes to pace, both teams operate at a slower tempo relative to the league average. The Suns rank 20th, averaging 100 possessions per 48 minutes, while the Clippers play at the second slowest pace in the NBA with 96.7 possessions over the same span. The slower rhythm often leads to half-court battles, yet both teams possess shooters capable of breaking that mold with quick bursts of scoring. The Clippers' offensive profile shows both strength and risk. They are turnover-prone but heavily dependent on three-point attempts. Los Angeles ranks 12th in three-point rate at .441 and 14th in three-point percentage at 37%, suggesting a team willing to live or die by perimeter success. Meanwhile, both clubs have had defensive lapses to begin the season, with the Clippers' perimeter defense being particularly porous. That weakness has been costly against teams like Phoenix that move the ball well and generate open threes through drive and kick actions. Historically, the matchup between these two has tilted tilted toward high-scoring outcomes. The over has cashed in 8 of the last 11 meetings, supported by the combination of streaky shooting, inconsistent defense, and capable scorers on both sides. With each team able to generate runs and exploit mismatches, the conditions again favor a contest where offense takes the lead. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.